Hello everybody. Do we want to keep this? It's kind of iffy, but we do have one spell we can cast on the second turn. We'll try it. And we're up against the werewolves. This'll be fun. He doesn't do anything. Well, I like that, because we can sacrifice the tapped zombie, and he has to zap one of his actual creatures. No attacks. We get our decayed zombie back. Well, technically it's a new one, I guess. It's never really clear, right? Is this made out of the remains of the last one? Just reusing all the same bits and parts? Okay, he's had enough of that already. What shall we do next? How about Lagomos? We'll go ahead and put that down. And we get a different kind of attacker. I guess we'll put on the pressure now while we can. Things could turn pretty quick. That's one removal. They have a number of different removals, and he's got enough mana for it already. Yep, have the other slash ready. That's good though, we got that out of the way. Got that out of the way. What do I need for... I got the black mana that I need, I got the blue mana that I need. I need one more red in case we need to do a burn down the house later. I'll play a spell so that we don't lose to things changing from day to night. We'll keep things on day whenever we can. And if they have an enchantment ready, we are ready. That is not an enchantment. Okay. I kind of wanted to keep that sacrifice to that, but let's do... Oh, I don't have to sacrifice anything, right? I can just go like this. Go away. Sweet. But now I can't stop an enchantment. It's okay, because I'm planning to play Sulkanar next. And if they don't have something good, that's when I expect them to scoop, actually. We made them think. So, let me see. What do I want to say while we're waiting? You're at Tpull's Corner. I'm Travis. Remember to like and subscribe. That's all the standard stuff. The name of this deck is the Tainted Handoff. It sounds disgusting, but it's not. We're just playing Magic the Gathering. It's named after Sulkanar the Tainted and a card named Fateful Handoff. And in just a minute, we'll show you the rest of the deck and explain the concept. This is going to be part of the Sulkanar series. The first deck we did was just called Sulkanar, and we use cards like the Phase Out, the one blue mana Phase Out spell that would phase out Sulkanar at the 4th turn so that we wouldn't have to exile him and give him to our opponent. And we had all sorts of neat tricks and tips for how we could manipulate things so that we just didn't have to worry about losing Sulkanar to the opponent. And there's another deck we did called Fatal Explosions. And that one has Sulkanar in it too, so I actually made that one first. So that one's going to be part of the playlist too. And I just mentioned that because if you haven't watched those, They're fun to watch, I think, for those two videos. But also I've been playing around since Phyrexia came out with Fatal Explosions, and it wins about half the time against all these new poison decks. So if you're having trouble with the new meta environment, go ahead and copy the deck list from Fatal Explosions and run it out for a try and see if you like it. Because I have been having some success with that so far. Alright, he let it flip tonight. I don't know that we care that much about it because we're bringing in Solkanar. We're going to stop and let him read the card. I guess Solkanar's not showing up that often in battles these days. He does cost 5 mana, and he does have a risk to him. So there is a drawback if you don't kill him, if your opponent doesn't kill him. It can backfire on you. But now's a good time to be patient. You know, if they're going to rope while you're trying to lay down a card that they're not familiar with, just try and be patient. Oh, never mind. He didn't even wait for him to land before he scooped. Just because the Phyrexia All Will Be One is out right now, and so there's a lot of people that are stopping to read these new Phyrexian cards and learn what they are. So you might get roped a little, but that's just people trying to understand what's new to the game. Okay, so here we go, the Tainted Handoff. Here's the concept. We'll go over Solkanar real quick. You put him down on the battlefield, he gets to do 3 good things. You're probably going to choose these 3 things first, right? Draw a card, deal 3 damage to another target creature or planeswalker, or your opponent loses 2 life while you gain 2 life. After those 3 turns, at the end of the 4th turn, you exile Solkanar, then return it to the battlefield under an opponent's control. So we don't like that, right? So we have a number of ways to sacrifice him. Like if we have Eaten Alive, he could be the sacrifice cost there. If we want to do the casualty mechanic on Omnic Silas, we could sacrifice him for 5 and get a copy of a Planeswalker, which is awesome. So we have all those normal things. But I have 3 copies of Fateful Handoff. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control, and opponent gains control of that permanent. So what we're going to do is we're going to time things. So we'll put down Solkanar. When we get to the 4th turn and he's about to be exiled, we then play Fateful Handoff. Because Solkanar costs 5 to put down, we get to draw 5 cards, and Solkanar gets given to our opponent. Then the turn ends, and because there's only 1 choice left on Solkanar because we used the first 3, it's our opponent that actually exiles Solkanar and returns it to the battlefield under our control. So that's the goal. We'll not only short-circuit the backfiring, we'll get a reset Solkanar that has all 4 choices available to us, and we'll get 5 cards out of the deal. So that's the main central concept that we built around. The other thing that I'm willing to do with Fateful Handoff, if Solkanar doesn't show up, is to put a meteorite down, and I'll give them a meteorite. So there should be a 2 toughness creature that we can use to introduce the meteorite. If we don't get Fateful Handoff, it gives us an extra mana source, which is always great in this deck. But I'm not afraid of trading 1 mana for the rest of the game to the opponent in return for 5 cards immediately. So I was going to do 4, but it was just too many. It's too many 5 drops in a meta that's too fast. I only have 1 thing more expensive than 5 mana, and I may have to drop it because it's coming in too early too often. And this is what the arena does, right? They give you your more expensive card, your most expensive card up front. But this is just the Dusk Mangler. As an additional cost, you can sacrifice a creature, which gives us another way to get rid of Solkanar if we need to. But when it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. It's an awesome card if I could just stop it reading a dead card in my hand. I would like to actually get this card on the battlefield someday. Not able to do it so far. What else do I got? I got Eaten Alive for removal. I got 2 Defabricates to get rid of artifacts and enchantments before they become a problem. 1 Reality Chip. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, or you can reconfigure and actually play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. If we're going to be able to draw extra cards with Fateful Handoff, I've got 2 Triska Decaphiles, so I'm prepared to have more than 7 cards in my hand and not have to discard them. Extract the Truth to make them sacrifice an enchantment, or we get rid of maybe a Planeswalker from their hand. Not a whole lot of removal, but we have another one here with Go for the Throat. We have a couple of Jadars that give us black zombie creatures with Decayed each time, so that allows us to have sacrifice fodder for the casualty mechanics of Obnixilis. We got Vengeful Strangler, another good sacrificial target that we can then put the Strangling Grasp enchantment on an opponent's creature, and they get a turn before it takes effect, but then they have to sacrifice a non-land permanent. We got 2 Dissipates that exile troublesome spells that we think might come back. If there's, like certain creatures you can get back from the graveyard. With this, they can't. We've got 1 Gravelighter, so we can just put it on the field, and if our opponent has 1 opponent creature on the field, we can just make them sacrifice it. Here's our Graveyard Hate card, the Graveyard Trespasser. When he enters, you get to exile a card from a graveyard or whenever he attacks. 1 more removal with Hero's Downfall. 1 probably just removal with using her -2 ability for Liliana the Veil. And for all the 1/1 poison counter type creatures, we've got Nightclubber. When she enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. And we've got 1 copy of Legamo's Hand of Hatred, who gives us the Trample Haste Elemental you see to the right. And that's another one that we can sacrifice for something like Obnixilis, or for the cost for Eaten Alive. Obnixilis, we've mentioned like 3 or 4 times now. He's one of my favorite planeswalkers. I like putting him down, getting the little devil creature token out and that kind of thing, making our opponent discard cards. Honored Heirloom is our other form of Graveyard Hate, along with Graveyard Trespasser. You can add 1 mana of any color, plus you can exile a target card from a graveyard. Grafted Identity is an additional cost to cast this spell. You sacrifice a creature. So again, if we get a Jadar down, or a Legamos, or maybe it's time to get rid of Sulkanar before it's too late if we don't have Fateful Handoff. These are all good cards, and we should have enough fodder that we won't be sad when we sacrifice whatever creature we sacrifice. But we get to enchant a creature and take over one of the opponent's creatures. We described Fateful Handoff already. We've also got Hidetsugo, Devouring Chaos. Here's another way to get rid of Sulkanar if we need to. We can sacrifice him to Hidetsugo and have a Scry 2. There's also a nice little combo if you ever get it going with Hidetsugo and Reality Chip. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, and if you do, then you can tap for his second ability, exile the top card, and deal, if you cast it, or actually just exiling it that way, whether you cast it or not, you can deal damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. So, if like you got these 2 out and Duskmangler's on the top and you don't have enough mana to play Duskmangler, maybe you'll just tap Hidetsugo all of a sudden for 3 and deal 7 points of damage, the mana value, to any target. We also have 2 Burn Down the Houses for board wipes, the 3 Sulkanars, the 2 Meteorites, and for land, Field of Ruin, we got 4 Maestro's Theater, so we can go get the basics, and 1 Hostile, so we can also have another outlet for sacrificing creatures in the form of a land. That's the concept. We're going to take it out for a spin. And I mentioned the Fatal Explosions deck I've been having some luck with. This deck, I have not been having a lot of luck with it. Fateful Handoff is actually a dead card until you get one of the other 5-drops. So out of all the, besides Duskmangler, the Fateful Handoff is really the card you don't want to see in the opening hand if you can help it. But we keep it. We've got a 2-drop, we've got a 3-drop, and we've got access to all 3 colors. And we'll lead with our tap land. We've got a nice assortment here, right? There's Dominaria United, there's Kamigawa, there's Brothers War. And we're dealing with mono red burn most likely. So let's see. Let's go ahead and put down the reality chip and see if that can be good for blocking for right now. And of course he's got 2 hasters right out the block. And so let's go ahead and get our 3rd color out. We'll have Legamos. Yeah, let's establish Legamos first. And then we can go ahead and hit back now. We'll see if we've got removal or not. Otherwise, we have fodder to use for eating alive already. Maybe we'll just get rid of one of these guys. If Legamos can survive. No. Never mind. Legamos is gone. What about the reality chip? Will the reality chip hang out with us a little bit longer? Dare I block? I guess I will. Might die. Let's see. Okay, I don't need another Fateful Handoff right now, so we're gonna mix up the deck. That's why I have 4 Maestros Theaters in here. I've got access to 2 blue, 2 red, so I actually need 1 more black. It's probably the best. Let's get a Swamp. And then we'll bring down Triskaidekaphile. And we'd be done. And we're already losing Trisky. And look, they have just the right match for creatures and removal. It's like their equation is just perfect right now. Let's see. We have what we need. Let's just get rid of one of them entirely. Sound fair? So maybe I should have gotten rid of the Iconoclast first, yeah? Lesson learned. He throws away another one. And gets that guy in. That's a lot of attackers. That's a lot of damage. Down to 11. And Duskmangler. Of course we're getting the one that I don't want. That's all I can afford to do. And so that was maybe my misplays. I should have exiled him first. My opponent's gone through all of his cheap spells already. A couple of considers. Let's see if this is a damage spell to finish off the reality chip. Okay, so what can I do here? All I can do is exile something. So maybe we get rid of instants and sorceries. So if we last long enough, which we're not going to last long enough. That's another... Look at that. We already upset the deck. We have 3 Fateful Handoffs in the deck. And there comes another one right now, which is not going to be helpful to us for the draw. We're going to die. So all I can do is target this and give it to the opponent to draw some cards, and then I don't have the black mana to actually cast a card anymore. Oh, we're dead. We're dead to the weenies. There was no getting around that. Maybe if I'd exiled the Iconoclast first and we didn't have the other artifact creature soldiers, maybe we would have had some more time on the clock. But this is the problem. The concept deck, we want Fateful Handoff at the right time. We have not 4 copies, right? We didn't go overboard. We have 3. And we've got a number of other spells that we want to use it for. But having it come up 3 times all at the beginning of the match is pretty much doomed for us in this fast-paced environment. So, okay, we do have 4 cards. Look, the most expensive one again, and a dead card in our hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep it. Let's go ahead. Here, we'll play that. If we flood out with land, at least we might have a chance to actually play the Duskmangler. Let's see. We need some blue. We're going to need blue at some point, so let's go get an island. Just sort of get ready for it. And then we have 2 or more lands, so nothing else comes in tap now. Is this just a werewolf deck? Let me put out the Strangler then. You can't block. Yeah, they get a legendary on their curve for 3. I guess we have to play this now. Submit 0. We don't need to bother with our own stuff. And does he read the card? No, he kills it. Kill it. Go ahead, kill it. Don't read the card. Reading is overrated. You don't really need to read the card. I mean, who really needs to read the... Oh, he read the card. I knew it. Our opponent has half a brain at least. If they got removal, they're probably willing to zap Trespasser just to get it out of the way and toss away another card. No, instead they play Child of the Pack. Okay. Only sends the pup our way. I'll take the trade. Before the pup gets bigger. Okay, next. For our next trick, we bring out Sulkanar and we get rid of Tpull. We still attack with the Strangler. Yeah, that's right. Let him through. 3 damage to get rid of Tpull. And we're keeping things on daytime still. But they can just spend 4 and create a 2/2 green wolf creature and flip it to night and turn that into a 5/5. So we're not out of the woods yet. Okay. They're going to cast spells instead. 2 creatures. Might as well be creating stuff. Okay, I'm worried about this creature. I'm not worried about the other 2. We're getting close to 7 mana for the Duskmangler. We attack for 2 more points, which is at some point has got to start hurting. You can't be gaining life all the time. We end the turn. We'll draw a card. I like that. Good sacrifice fodder for Duskmangler, although we'll probably sacrifice the Strangler actually at this point. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, never mind. New plan. We are not going to sacrifice the Strangler. He might sacrifice himself just to get rid of that. Okay, so we are going to put down Jadar. We are going to attack. That's our 1 spell for the turn, so nobody flips. End it. We get a zombie token, and they lose 2 and we gain 2 life. Now we've already used everything that we wanted to from Sulkanar. The opponent knows that next turn it goes over. Now we have Duskmangler, but we want to use Faithful Handoff. Hello. He gets rid of Sulkanar. But you were going to get him. You were going to get him. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. Well, you thought you were going to get him. You weren't really going to get him. Okay, Dust Wangler it is. Sacrifice a creature. Sacrifice this guy. They now have to sacrifice a creature, lose a card, and lose 4 life. So whatever's in their hand, they don't get to keep. Unless it's an instant they can cast right now. They get rid of a 2-mana wolf, so that's not a bad deal. They do get rid of another wolf strike, which saves us a little bit. But they get a Paxong Pup that we need to get rid of, or it's going to get bigger. What do we want to do? I guess we'll make that trade. And we need something else to use Fateful Handoff for now. And yeah, we'll just do those two. They can block the one. They're still not blocking the other. But they can really kill us in 2 turns if they, well, if they had anything else they could use. They can't really afford to attack or we can get them. So they've got to keep a couple on guard duty, right? No, they're going to attack. Oh, go right ahead then. If you don't have another creature, I've got lethal on you. Oh, they knew it. Alright, we beat a werewolf deck. Sweet. I almost got to show off the combo, too. Don't make me go to Sparky, people. I should be able to get a Fateful Handoff at some point and actually play the card. That's the goal. That's what we want to do tonight. Okay, so we got Sulkanar. We got 3 of the 5 mana we need already for him. Let's go ahead and start with the Haunted Ridge. We are going to need some more land real quick. Real quick. That's not the land we wanted. But we are getting more land. That's also not the land we wanted. But we can block our samurai, right? Churning Reservoir. Put an oil counter. Blah, blah, blah. Another non-token artifact. So this is a way for them to create stuff. We don't have a way to get rid of artifacts in this particular deck. We do have a way to get rid of 1/1s. So they need an artifact that actually sticks around. They can't use the Ronin on that. Uh-oh. Another one. Put an counter on the Forge. Then you create a 1/1. Okay. This is going to get out of... Why, we're not getting... Okay. You know what? That'll still work. That'll still work. The problem is, they create these on their turn and they just sacrifice them is all that happens. So Nightclubber is not going to work at all. I'm already over 60 cards. If I have to deal in Artifact Hate too, I'm going to be in trouble. Alright, what do we want to do? I think we want to put down Sulkanar. No attacks. Deal 3 damage, get rid of the face breaker. What are you? He's already 8. Ouch. What are we gonna do? Got trample too. What happens there? Return it unless you remove 2 oil counters from it. So he gets to just put a couple of oil counters on every time? Shoot. The meteorite is also something that can't help us as an instant. This is a troublesome deck against us. Okay, so I guess I'm attacking with Sulkanar. In the turn, let's do the 2 life thing. They're just going to put it all on Urabast's Forge. Interesting strategy. So they still do the Reinforced Ronin, even though it doesn't match with the rest of this. Okay, so we'll get rid of that with Dissipate. Neener, neener, neener. And you cycle, okay. That's fine. 11-1. That's why we kept Reality Chip where it was. Oh good. It's a Phyrexian Horde, not an artifact creature. Okay. What do we do next? Night Clever. What I don't have? Okay. Meteorite. Use that to take out you. Attack with you? Is that the right move? Draw a card. We're going to give up the Reality Chip. Throws away the land. Puts down a face breaker, which can now block. And 14-1, I'm going to take 10 points of damage. Ouch. And that gets sacrificed though, right? You don't have anything to play that. I don't think they care. Okay, so I need to do how much damage? So if I attack now, they block. I'm gonna lose Sulkanar, right? Ugh. Three, think I'm just dead. It would have been nice to get the Fateful Handoff. So it gave me tons of Fateful Handoffs when I didn't have Sulkanar, and now I get Sulkanar and no Fateful Handoffs. And we're dead either way. Killed with my own creature. That is the risk with this deck. So you can see some of the problems we're having with it, right? No ways to handle artifacts, which can be dangerous. As if the stuff from Kamigawa and Dominaria and Brothers War wasn't bad enough. Now Phyrexia has stuff just as deadly. And maybe I could use a search spell or something would come in handy, but then we're getting into a much bigger deck, which maybe it needs that kind of support. So we will have to do further experimentation. I may have to come back with 80 or 100 cards just to have answers for the new environment and to have ways to arrange it so that I get what I want when I want it, instead of always getting exactly the opposite thing that I want. And this is the other conspiracy theory I can never prove, is I've got an idea of what I want for my deck. I've got a certain order. It really makes it, well, at least we got both of them. We got the combo. Okay, so I need red next, so I need a mountain. I've got one basic mountain in the deck. We'll go get it. And if we get the other Fateful Handoffs, I've got plenty of ways to get some nice card draw if we do manage to get to 5 lands. These guys are ramping a lot easier than we are. But I have my 3 colors. I think I want to just keep my Mana Drive for Dissipate. I'm expecting another Stomper, or another Adaptive, really. They've gone through all their ramp spells. What is this? I don't know this one. Eat, sort, eat, sort, eat. Good. Armored Scrap Gorger. Phyrexian B03. Needs oil counters. Add 1 mana when it becomes tapped. Exile a card from a graveyard and put an armored counter on. Okay. That's an interesting card. I would probably have a lot of fun with that card. You do not get to have fun with that card. Sorry. So sorry. Okay, so we'll put the tap land down now. That still allows us to play Lagomos and attack for 2 finally. So we get our licks in. And now we have enough mana to do everything we wanted to do. And you need 7. Uh-oh.
I will read out dissent in our world. Welcome, my companion.
The heck is this thing? You get a +1 for that? Destroy artifact or enchantment. Okay. X is your loyalty, so if you're not around, we don't have to worry about you anymore.
We will regrow.
No, the token stays around? X doesn't change and grow to 0 when you lose the Planeswalker. Of course not. You can just get a 6/6 right away. Well, that is 3, 5, 7 mana. Alright. Why did you not attack with Phyrexian Horror? Okay. Sulkanar comes out. We'll go ahead and attack with you. He blocks with the Stopper, which allows me to use the 3 damage against the Stopper. Oh, shoot. I misclicked. I meant to hit the Stopper. Okay, we're going to have to trade that. And what we have left is not good enough. But we were down to 7 already. Alright. 2 damage to any target. He's just going to block with the other one. And I'm going to spend my mana giving him the meteorite, probably. Oh, shoot. Nothing in there really helps me. I can go ahead and put you out. We can go ahead and get rid of Nissa from the graveyard, for all that that helps us. He's got another Nissa.
Soon, all will be
7 mana spells. They have no problem. They have no problem ramping, getting exactly the color they need. And all that I do for my spells is I get mostly a couple of lands.
Unity brings peace to all.
What the heck did she even do there? That was a 1/3. I don't understand what happened. Creatures you can go... How do you... What did she do there? A 1/3 to an 8/10. She added +7/+7 to them. How? Oh. She ended up coming in as a 7? Sorry, let me... I am still learning how the Phyrexian cards work. I have not read up about Nissa. She can do her ultimate. She can come in and do her minus ultimate already. If you just pay for the 7. So you have to have 7 mana, so you're probably going to have 7 forests. They built a Planeswalker that can do its ultimate ability the turn it comes into play. Does that not seem busted to you? That seems a little busted. That seems broken, just off the top of my head. I mean, it's different if you have somebody like Vorinclex that you're using in combination with them to get them to ultimate the turn they come in, but this lets them have their ultimate ability the turn they come in just on their own with no outside support. That is bad. Well, but the cool thing is you guys are getting to see some new Phyrexian cards even if they're not mine. Okay, so Arena's not being nice to me. Okay, these are the only 2 double reds I have in the entire deck, and they're not giving me any reds. We're not too worried about Sinew Dancer. He's probably the least threatening out of all of the new Phyrexian mono-white cards. Lifelink. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield, it gets +1. We're going to let that go too. Although, we're going to get in trouble soon if I don't get any reds, because I need the reds to do the board wipe for these guys. Atraxis Skitterfang. 3 oil counters. You can remove one when you do. Somebody gets Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, or Lifelink. There's still no poison counters. Now we're missing land drops. Our opponent's not missing a land drop. They never do. So now we're looking for that one to get equipped. And he gave up 1 counter to do flying. Okay. Okay. We've already lost a couple of battles, and you see red, 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 red. Do you see any other red anywhere? Okay, all I need to do is complain, and they have my house bugged. I think I may have mentioned that before in previous videos. Wizards of the Coast has my house bugged. I just need to ask for things sometimes. Alright, I need 1 more red land. Pretty please. And they get to bring down whatever they want. I lose 1 Trisky, and now we've got somebody with Toxic. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they already have a way to... They've gone through their entire deck. I've got a handful of things I cannot use. That's the new environment for you folks. 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana. And it's tapped. It's a tapped land.
I'm the new boss around here. Join me. Go sow some chaos. Your punishment is my entertainment.
We're dead no matter what this turn. Because it did give me the red land like I asked for. Thank you, Wizards, for actually complying with my request, but doing it in a way that does me no good whatsoever. You guys are pals. I don't know what he's waiting for. This is what I'm trying to do, is to let these people use their new cards and have fun with their new cards and not scoop immediately sometimes. And just let them get the feel for, hey, what do I want to do with these things? Let everybody try out the toys. So is he going to remove an oil counter, and he's going to do what? Flying? Which none of that is needed. Because he has lethal and he's going to attack anyway. So we're just going to let him hit us. There was no protecting us anyway. Alright, we're going to do 1 more. And then I think we have to accept that, at least in the current environment, the new Phyrexian environment, this is probably not going to work. Because when you think that Wizards does not have a way to speed up the tempo, they do. And now the mono-white poison seems faster than mono-red burn, which we were learning ways to deal with mono-red burn. So if I have to go take care of all the 1 mana, 2 mana things, this deck is going to grow pretty big. Right now, it's at 61 cards. And if they're going to give us board wipes, I need to go for the mountain now, so that we might have a chance to use them. We're up against mono white poison again. We didn't get to go first. They didn't miss land drop themselves, so we're in trouble already. Yeah? Sunset Reveille gives them some life and a card. You are going to sacrifice your enchantment. Thank you. Black can't do much against artifacts, but they finally broke down and gave us options against enchantments, because not being able to deal with both artifacts and enchantments was a big problem for being mono black. Okay, next, let's do Graveyard Trespasser, because I don't want them to be able to bring back any enchantments, which there is a way to do that still in this environment if they use some older cards. He can make anything a 3/3, and it's basically going to replace itself. Which is not cool. Okay, so this needs to be a swamp. And let's go ahead and bring down Trisky. And we're done. And now we've got a 4/4. And if they don't have a way to do anything more, we've got a standoff, because I can stop both of those. So the question is, uh-oh, they've got something. They just need to discard a card. Alright, let's bite. What do you got? For damage, they use a Ganjo. What card do they get rid of? They get rid of an extra Sunset Revelry, 2-mana card. Doesn't seem like a big deal for them. Time to bring out the big gun. No attacks. 3 damage. Get rid of you. Geist Hunter.
I'm not gonna let you slow me down.
-2 is not going to be helpful, right? So, +1?
Oh, I've got the perfect tools for the job.
Come on through. Interesting choices here, yay? They can give up the artifact creature if they want to. Do you want to? You're gonna let me have it. Alright, let's try something
Next
fun.
time, I better get paid.
Let's get the devil creatures in here. Draw a card. Excellent. With my luck, they're going to bring out the Eternal Wanderer Planeswalker now. You're going to exile what? the land in the Trespasser counts. So there goes the Trespasser. That makes you a 2/2. That does not make you bigger. You can do it one more time. You just need to get rid of a land. Okay, you got it. I'm not sure that they thought this through. You tapped out. You had to kill all 3 of my guys. All right. Island. Attack. Put down a new one. Keep that one. Do 3 damage to get rid of the Phyrexian Knight so you can't power up the infested Flesh Cutter. Life is good. You know what? I can do that too. I only have 1 Sulkanar left. What are the odds I'll find him in the next 20 or so cards? Really? You just had another one just all handy. You had both of those, just one after the other. Okay. I guess we're doing this. And that's pretty much it. They still got us. After all that. The poison wins again. I don't have... Why is it not letting me... Oh, these are all artifact creatures, aren't they? So, 4... 7 points of damage. How many? Gross. Alright. What do we want to get rid of here? I guess the Tri-Land? I only have 2 burn down the houses. I don't have another board wipe. Go for the Throat is worthless against artifact creatures. At least with the other match, it was a Phyrexian Horror, not a Phyrexian artifact. And that's useless now. That's useless now. I can do this versus him. And we're done. Useless card now. I'm so sad. Alright, we're gonna go in and show you the entire deck. This, I'm not sure if this is salvageable. The concept is fun. But everything's so fast now, and Arena is not cooperating in terms of dealing me the cards in a timely enough manner for the land, Sulkanar, and then Fateful Handoff to actually get the combo off in a timely manner before I am destroyed by... And no matter what we faced... And this is kind of like what I put out the other night with my rant. On my experience when they introduce a new expansion, is everybody's playing with the new cards. Those new cards seem to just blow everything else out of the water. So I don't have any Phyrexian cards in this makeup. This was made before Phyrexia came out. So I remember this happening with Call Time too, where the Call Time cards came out and they totally cleaned my clock list like every time. And my conspiracy theory is that Arena is messing with my deck and not giving me the order that I need to have it work. But all the Phyrexian cards get exactly what they need every turn that they need to do exactly what they need to survive long enough to kill me. And that's what we've seen tonight. That's what we saw the other night. Don't know what to do about it. Other than I can increase and go to something like 80 cards, put a little bit more land in, and go ahead and put in some 1 mana, 2 mana drops and things to sort of deal with the things that we're seeing and coming across. So maybe that means some more counter spells. Maybe that just means some artifact hate. Maybe that means a search spell or two. But this is one of those times where if you want to have your core concept work and it's not working in the current environment, then the only way to do that is to increase your deck size and add in other things that help you compensate for the existing environment. So and I'm belaboring this point just because we have some new players who have been asking, like, why do you go over 60 cards? Well, here on this one, it's, let's see, what did we have for lands? We had 26 lands, so instead of the standard auto 24 lands, I have 26. So I went to 25 lands, and then I added in a 26th land just to deal with all of this type of stuff so that I didn't get starved for mana when I needed it. And you see the mana curve is slightly more expensive than average, 3.3, because I don't really have much in the way of 1 mana drops. And that maybe is what's killing me a little bit. Is maybe I need to have something out to stop those 1/1 toxic things when they first come out at you. But we'll see. Maybe I'll play around with this a little bit more, and I'll come back with a different deck design, and maybe it's still salvageable. Or it could just be that Phyrexia has completely changed the meta, and some of these combinations just aren't going to work in the current environment. We shall see. But give me some comments. Leave in the feedback. Let me know what you like about it, what you didn't like about it, what you might do to change things up, if you could still do something like this in a 60-deck environment. And as always, like and subscribe. We'll leave it there. Thanks for coming out, and have a good one.